Neymar to Bayern. Is this now official? Liverpool plotting a mega swap deal to snatch Rodrigo from Real Madrid sounds like fiction, but what if it's true? Gyökeres has apparently chosen his next club, and it's not what you think. And Barcelona? They're ready to sell Gavi for 80 million euros. Is this the end of an era? All this and much more in today's episode. Guys, let's hit 250 likes again. Your support helps us bring you even more incredible content. Now, let's dive into the latest transfer rumors. Hey everyone, I've got to ask, does anyone else think the football world has completely lost it? Pini Zahavi, the infamous super agent, is apparently trying to hawk a 33-year-old Neymar to Barcelona or Bayern Munich. Seriously, what a brilliant idea. Why wouldn't a German machine or a club, in the midst of a Catalan crisis, want to splash out a fortune on a veteran? Okay, Neymar back at Barcelona. It sounds romantic, right? He did create some magic there. But let's be real for a second. First, where's the money for his wages coming from? Barca can barely afford a decent loan deal for a defender right now, let alone Ney with his astronomical salary demands. Second, Deco's already basically said, no, thanks, we're good. So, a Camp Nou comeback is pure fantasy. And Bayern? Seriously, can you picture German discipline and Neymar partying it up in Rio? Vincent Kompany would have a heart attack. Look, Neymar's still got the talent, no doubt, but his fitness is a whole other drama series. Injuries, parties, time off for his sister's birthday. You know the drill. Bayern are used to workhorses like Kimmich and Müller. So, is that it? Is his European career over? Honestly, 99% yes. Neymar needs to rebuild his career. The guy's barely played in the last 2 seasons, spending more time in the infirmary and playing Counter-Strike. The whole thing feels more like a soap opera than a genuine comeback story. But then again, it's Neymar. His career has always been a bit of a circus. Maybe Zahavi will find someone willing to take a gamble. By the way, if you're a regular viewer and haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos, because we're diving deep into all the craziest transfer rumors. So what do you think? Who, if anyone, is going to take a chance on Neymar at a top club right now? Let me know in the comments. Let's get a prediction battle going. Guys, honestly, Leroy Sané at Bayern isn't the same player anymore. Well, he's still great, but maybe not great enough to keep him at any cost. Under Tuchel, he was one of the key players, but with Kompany's arrival, his role has clearly diminished. And now, with his contract running out, the club isn't exactly rushing to extend it. And you know why? Bayern is planning to cut their wage bill. Yes, indeed, because they want to make a move for Florian Wirtz, and this is serious. Right now, Sané earns 20 million euros per year, and they're offering him 13 million. That's 7 million less, almost half. Would you agree to that? That's why Leroy is having second thoughts. Though, honestly, I'm not sure Bayern will lose much. Yes, he can tear opponents apart, hit the top corner, dribble past half a team. But can doesn't mean he does it regularly. All his brilliance comes in flashes. Were we waiting for consistency? Never got it. And now Arsenal is making contact. Arteta knows Sané is a risk, but probably believes he can unlock his potential better. The question is money. England isn't the Bundesliga. Clubs don't really do saving money there. So my prediction, Sané's departure is just a matter of time. And you know what? I'm not sure Bayern will regret it. Carlo Ancelotti is once again at the center of attention. And guess what? He has no plans to leave. Yes, for Carlo, Real Madrid feels like a second home, and he's ready to fight for the club until the very end. But here's the question. Does Madrid love him just as much? In my view, Carlo is like that reliable friend who's always there. Yet the management seems to have their eyes on Xabi Alonso. According to The Athletic, talks have already taken place. Can you imagine? Alonso with his strict positional football replacing Carlo's magic. Well, of course. Why not try something new when you already have a proven winner? Sarcasm? Absolutely. Carlo needs to win La Liga or the Champions League, preferably both, to stay. But here's the paradox. His future depends on the very players he has excellent relationships with. And what about Alonso? Will he be able to get along with the stars? That's the million-dollar question. Personally, I think replacing Carlo with Xabi is like jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. Yes, Alonso is young and promising, but Real Madrid isn't Bayer Leverkusen, where you can afford to experiment. Here, results matter, and Carlo delivers them. So, Real Madrid's management should think twice before saying adios to Carlo. And is Xabi ready for such a challenge? After all, Madrid isn't just a club, it's an entire galaxy where every step is worth its weight in gold. I believe Carlo will stay because Real without him is like paella without rice. And Alonso, well, he'll have time to write his Madrid fairy tale. But not now, friends, not now. What do you think? Share your opinions in the comments. Benjamin Šeško to Manchester United. Is this move finally happening? No doubt about it, this guy is an absolute beast in attack. 21 years old, 22 goals in a Bundesliga season. If that's not a defense wrecking machine, what is? But let's break it down. How realistic is this move? Manchester United have had their eyes on Šeško since his Salzburg days. Now he's at RB Leipzig, and rumor has it there's a release clause of around $50 million. Sounds simple, right? Just pay up and get the deal done. But in reality, this is where it gets interesting. United aren't alone in this race. Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham are all lining up, and the London clubs aren't just window shopping. They're ready to throw serious cash at this deal. Meanwhile, at United, let's be real, they love splashing cash, but right now, they can't afford to go crazy. They need to offload players first before making any big moves. One thing is clear, United desperately need a striker. Højlund, inconsistent, still raw. Xerxes, don't even get me started. Šeško, a different breed. Strong, technical, lethal in front of goal. Plus, he's versatile. He can play as a number 9 or cut in from the wing. According to Football Insider, United are the frontrunners. Tottenham, too slow. While they were hesitating, Šeško has practically chosen his next club. Personally, I think United have to sign him. If they seriously want to return to the Champions League, they need a proper goal scorer, and this guy is the real deal. The only question is, can they afford it? And more importantly, can they convince Šeško to pick them? So, United fans, what do you think? Will this deal happen? Let me know in the comments. Real Madrid are ready to sell Camavinga for 70 million euros. Yes, the very same Frenchman who snubbed Manchester United for Madrid 3 years ago and was seen as the future of Los Blancos midfield. Personally, I'm shocked. The kid is only 22. Has already played over 150 games for Madrid and they're ready to cash in on him. What kind of madness is this? Sure, he's not an undisputed starter, but with the competition in this squad, is that even realistic? Just look at the clubs lining up for him, Manchester City and PSG, two financial giants ready to splash the cash. City already strengthened their midfield in the winter with Nico Gonzalez, but half their midfielders have uncertain futures. And PSG? Well, Luis Enrique clearly wants even more firepower in the middle of the park. In my opinion, Camavinga would be making a huge mistake if he leaves. Real Madrid are a Champions League winning machine, while at City or PSG, success isn't guaranteed, no matter how much money they throw at it. What do you think? Should Eduardo pack his bags or fight for his place in Madrid? If I were him, I'd stay and prove myself. 70 million euros is a huge offer, but is money really more important than becoming a club legend at Real? Let me know in the comments. Barcelona has officially entered the race for Ademola Lookman. Yes, that Lookman, the one tearing it up at Atalanta, but also locked in a cold war with Gasperini. And now, Deco himself is leading the charge to bring the Nigerian star to Camp Nou. Lookman's contract runs until 2026, but his relationship with Gasperini, it's straight out of a Spanish soap opera. And ever since that missed penalty in the Champions League, things have only gone downhill. Gasperini clearly isn't thrilled, and Atalanta is ready to cash in 50 million euros, and he's gone. But is Barca making the right move? Compared to Leão for 100 million euros, absolutely. Lookman isn't just faster and cheaper, he's versatile. Left wing, right wing, second striker, he can do it all. And with Flick's love for pressing and pace, this could be a perfect match, right? But here's the catch. Lookman dreams of the Premier League, and if Tottenham or Chelsea come knocking with a big contract, Barca will have a real fight on their hands. In my opinion, if Barcelona wants to boost their attack without breaking the bank, Lookman is a golden opportunity. But hurry up, señores, the competition isn't sleeping. Have you seen what Viktor Gyökeres is doing this season? 37 goals in 39 games. That's absolutely insane. The Lisbon crowd is already used to his goal-scoring fireworks, and now all of England is buzzing. Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United, they're all lining up for him. But where will he actually end up this summer? Arsenal. The perfect fit? Look, the Gunners have had the same problem for years now, a striker who actually scores goals, not just looks good running around. There was a time when Gabriel Jesus seemed like a great option, but let's be honest, where's his killer instinct? Plus, his injuries are becoming a real issue. This is where Gyökeres comes in. Powerful, relentless, a nightmare for defenders. He can bully his way past anyone and unleash a rocket from anywhere. The only problem? Arteta seems to be leaning towards Benjamin Šeško, with Victor more of a plan B. Meaning, they might miss out on a top-class striker again. Chelsea, throwing money at the problem again. The Blues, well, they never change. Oh, a talented striker. Let's offer him a 200-year contract. Okay, I'm joking, but seriously, this club desperately needs a lethal finisher. Nicholas Jackson is giving it his all, but let's be real. You can't build a Champions League level team around him just yet. The question is Gyökeres really ready to jump into Chelsea's never-ending chaos? United, a chance or another dead end? Whoa, this one's messy. Since Ruben Amorim arrived, United's game hasn't improved at all. If anything, it's gotten worse. And here's the thing, how can you seriously consider joining a club that's constantly rebooting and doesn't even have Champions League football? If United don't somehow claw their way into the top 4, and let's be honest, that's looking like a long shot, the Swede will take one look at that dumpster fire and sprint straight to Chelsea or Arsenal. So, where will he go? Honestly, I'm betting on Arsenal. They have a project, they have Arteta, they have Champions League football. The only question is whether they'll blow their chance. Again, if I were Gyökeres, I wouldn't touch Chelsea with a barge pole. And I'd be very cautious about United. But what do you think? Where should Victor go? Let me know in the comments. Barcelona might sell Gavi this summer, 80 million euros, and he's gone. What do you make of that? Personally, I'm shocked. Seriously, Gavi was supposed to be the future of Barcelona, their heart and lungs in midfield. Or has that changed? Sure, injuries have set him back, but selling a 20-year-old kid? Really? That seems extreme. Why would Barca even consider this? Well, it's simple. Their finances are a disaster, and at this point, Barcelona seems ready to sell even the cafeteria cook if it helps them stay afloat. 80 million euros is a solid offer, no doubt. But is it worth it? 3 big reasons behind the move. First off, Gavi's market value has already dropped by 10 million euros in just a year. Barca fears that in another year or two, he could be worth half as much. Second, Flick doesn't seem to view him as a key player right now. Yes, Gavi is valuable, but is he a guaranteed starter? Not really. Third, his long recovery isn't exactly helping his case. He's lost his rhythm and there's no guarantee he'll ever get back to his best. But wait, this is Gavi. We're talking about, if he finds his form again, Barcelona will have given away a top midfielder for peanuts. Where could he end up? PSG. This one's obvious. Qatar has deep pockets and they need a young fighter in midfield. Manchester City. Guardiola loves hardworking players like him. He could thrive in City's system just like Foden. Liverpool. After their rebuild, they could use a new powerhouse in midfield. So, Barca, are you really ready to sell him? Right now, this whole story looks like a high-stakes gamble. Personally, I'd wait. What do you think? Sell Gavi or keep him? Let me know in the comments. Liverpool are reportedly considering a transfer that sounds like pure football fantasy, swapping Ibrahima Konate for Rodrigo. Yes, you heard it right. What do you make of this? The Reds know their French defender still hasn't signed a new contract and could leave for free in the summer of 2026. Sounds reasonable so far, right? But this is where it gets absolutely ridiculous. Instead of simply extending Konate's contract or selling him for decent money, Liverpool are apparently thinking of offering Real Madrid a straight swap, their defender for one of the best wingers in world football. Does this make any sense? Seriously, what's the logic here? Would Real Madrid really just hand over Rodrigo? Under Ancelotti, he's been on fire, so much so that Man City and Arsenal are ready to throw big money at him. Just to remind you, the Brazilian has already racked up 6 goals and 5 assists in 23 games this season. He's one of Los Blancos' key attacking players, and they'd trade him for a centre-back. Carlo, be honest, would you ever agree to this? Not in a million years. It's like walking into a car dealership and saying, "Hey, how about I trade in my old Ford and you give me a brand new Ferrari?" We all know how that conversation ends. Does Liverpool even need Rodrigo? Are they short on wingers? Salah, Diaz, Jota, Gakpo? Where would they even fit another one? Meanwhile, they absolutely can't afford to lose a top defender. Reality check. I'm 100% sure Real Madrid will laugh this off without a second thought. Sure, they need defensive reinforcements, but at the cost of one of their best attackers? Forget it. Rodrigo will keep terrorizing defenses at the Bernabeu for at least a couple more years. This transfer belongs firmly in the football fantasy section. What do you think? Do you believe in this wild rumor, or is it just another case of transfer market madness? Let me know in the comments.